Yo, fellow otaku. Grab your coffee. Imagine we're huddled in that dimly lit cafe corner, the one with the flickering neon sign that says no heroes allowed, and I'm spilling the beans. On Sentenced to be a Hero, the prison records of Penal Hero Unit 9004 Episode 1 like it's the hottest gossip from the Demon King's court. This premiere hits like a resurrection spell gone wrong, dark, gritty, and packed with that twisted fantasy energy that makes you question if being a hero is really the dream job we all thought it was. We kick off in this brutal world where hero isn't a badge of honor. It's the ultimate slap from the justice system. Picture this: heinous criminals, the real scum of society, get sentenced to mandatory military service against the Demon Lord's army. Death rate, a whopping 99%. And if you bite the dust, boom! Resurrected to fight again. No escape, no parole, just endless grind in the meat grinder of war. Our main man, Xylo Forbarts, voiced with that gravelly intensity by Yuhei Azakami, struts in as the former head of the Order of the Holy Knights. Dude's got a chip on his shoulder bigger than a dragon's hoard, wronged by the system, stripped of his title, and tossed into this penal hero gig like yesterday's trash. He's got that brooding anti-hero vibe, all sharp glares and calculated moves, but with a spark of revenge flickering in his eyes that screams, I'm not done yet, The episode wastes no time throwing us into the chaos. Xylo gets slapped with his sentence in a courtroom scene that's equal parts medieval trial and dystopian nightmare. Think chains clanking, judges sneering, and a crowd baying for blood. Cut to the front lines, where he's lumped into Penal Hero Unit 9004, a ragtag bunch of deplorables who make the Suicide Squad look like a tea party. We've got Dr. Luzulus, Shun Hori bringing the snarky edge, Pataush Kivia, Shizuka Ishigami's tough as nails delivery, and the enigmatic Tiarita, Mayu Iizuka, nailing the mysterious allure, who's basically a walking WMD with a quirky demand, and when we win, pat my head and praise me, and it's hilarious in a dark way. Amid the gore and grim, she's got this childlike pact with Xylo that hints at deeper bonds forming in the trenches. Big moments. Oh man. The first battle sequence is a blood-soaked symphony. Unit 9004 gets deployed to a demon-infested hotspot, and it's all-out carnage. Swords clashing, magic exploding, bodies dropping left and right. Xylo's leadership shines as he turns these misfits into a semi-cohesive force, dodging resurrection loops by sheer grit. There's a killer twist when they encounter a demon boss that's not just brute force but cunning, forcing Xylo to make a pact with a goddess for that extra edge. The vibe? Electric despair mixed with underdog fire. It's like if Attack on Titan met the Dirty Dozen in a prison yard brawl. You're on the edge of your seat, rooting for these heroes and who are one bad day from villain status, all while the world building drips in, corrupt knights, endless war, and that resurrection mechanic that's both a curse and a cruel joke. By the end, you're hooked, wondering how these convicts will flip the script on their fates. Alright, let's geek out on the visuals. Studio KI is behind the wheel here, and they're revving up a dark fantasy aesthetic that's mostly a feast for the eyes. The art style leans into gritty realism with a touch of exaggerated flair, perfect for this penal colony chaos. Character designs by Takeshi Noda are spot on. Xylo's got that rugged, scar-riddled look that screams and battle-hardened betrayer, and while Tiarita's ethereal glow contrasts beautifully against the muddy battlefields. The color palette, deep shadows, crimson blood splatters, and flashes of divine light that make the resurrection scenes pop like a horror fantasy hybrid. It's gorgeous in its grimness. Think muted earth tones for the human side, clashing with vibrant, otherworldly hues for demons, creating this visual tension that mirrors the story's themes. Animation-wise, the action sequences are where it slays. Fluid swordplay, dynamic camera angles zooming through the fray, and those resurrection effects. Chef's kiss. Bodies reforming in a swirl of ethereal particles that feels both magical and morbid. Studio Ki flexes their chops from past works, delivering crowd scenes that don't skimp on detail, even in the heat of battle. The opening theme and quat, Kill the Noise and quat, by Spy Air amps it up too, with visuals that tease the unit's dynamics and the looming war. But hey, keeping it real and kind, there's room to level up. Some background environments feel a tad static during quieter moments, like the courtroom could use more atmospheric depth to really sell the oppression. And while the character animations are expressive, a few transitions in the big fight felt a smidge rushed, like they were saving budget for later EPS. Nothing game-breaking, though. It's a solid first outing that prioritizes impact over polish in spots. Overall, it's got that raw energy that draws you in, making the dark world feel alive and immersive, without relying on over-the-top CGI. Whew! Episode 1 of Sentenced to be a Hero left me buzzing like I'd chugged a mana potion. It's a bold, unapologetic dive into dark fantasy that flips the hero trope on its head and runs with it. I'm obsessed with the world building, this penal system, where death is just over time. Genius, twisted fun that sets up endless potential for character arcs. And betrayals? Xylo's revenge quest has me invested, and Tiarita's quirky pact adds that layer of heart amid the horror. It's got me chuckling at the absurdity while cringing at the brutality. The humor sneaks in through the unit's banter, like gallows jokes that lighten the load without undercutting the stakes. Honestly, if this is the opener, I'm crossing my fingers for the series to ramp up the intrigue. More on the Goddess Pact, deeper dives into the comrades' backstories, what sins landed them here, and epic escalations in the war. Fingers crossed Studio Ki keeps the quality consistent post-delay. They've got the bones for a standout season. If you're into gritty tales like Berserk or Chainsaw Man with a squad dynamic, this is your next binge. Can't wait to nerd out over episode 2. Your turn. What's your take on these and quat, hero and quat, convicts?